Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone around the world. Welcome back to another One Piece video featuring Whitebeard, coming back at you guys with a brand new updated deck list for OP05, in which has been requested. Let alone, I was going to do it anyway because, I love this leader. But in any case, let's dive into this. I've been experimenting with different variants with this leader on how to defeat Sakazuki a little bit more consistently. And I've come up with a bunch of different deck lists here. One of my favorites that I was running for a little while, we were playing with 16 2Ks, which was actually really good. We were playing with 16 2Ks, 2 10K Luffys, 2 Zoros, 4 Luffys here, and then 3 Sanji, so all rush units. Essentially what you would do is you would block every single attack that comes your way because you have 16 2Ks, right? Your Nami would grab all of your defense pieces, be it your 2Ks, or whatever event you needed. And if you needed to be offensive, obviously she got you there too, right? Diable Jambe for Sanji, in case you had to go that route to try to win the game. If not, you had your boy Luffy to carry it for you. The downside to this list is you didn't really play a lot of cards, be it in the mid game, because you have your 2K counters, generally in hands, so you only be able to play down Zoro, which is easily removable. And then by the time you get down to the 10K, or sorry, not 10K, but the 10 Dawn turn, it's kind of over at that point. Because I feel like if you're sitting at 2 to 3 life, right? No, 2 life. Yeah, if you're sitting at 2 life and you drop Newgate on the board, for instance, you're golden. But you don't really make it a 10 Dawn with that much life in a healthy state to make a lot of difference with this card here. And at the end of the day, most of the time Sakazuki has like maybe 2 Borsalinos on board, or a Borsalino and a Rebecca. You can only pop, so many of them with the Luffy. So I felt like this list was a little bit more difficult to get past Sakazuki. Whereas my newer list here, this list does great versus everything else. It really does. It does it really good. I've been debating on trying this list again and taking out the Luffy here and going for Edward Newgate. But this has been doing pretty solid for me. This has been my new and improved deck list for OP05, and it does so well versus Sakazuki and every other deck in the format, of course. Now, be it this list is different, we take both one-drop searchers and the Namis here. That way with Nami, you can go offensive or defensive, because she can grab your events, she can grab your 2K counters, and she can be a little bit aggressive with the Luffy pools here and the Sanjis. Whereas Izo grabs your Whitebeards, your Jozus, and your Marcos. Marcos and your Luffy here, these are keys to winning the Sakazuki matchup. At least for me, this is what I found out. Marco is very difficult for Sakazuki to deal with if they don't have the right card combinations. You need 3 cards to get rid of this successfully. You need Houndblaze, 3000 Worlds, or Red Rock. Those cards will get rid of this card successfully by bottom decking it. If they decide to Rob Lucci you, what happens? You just bring Marco back. You see what I'm saying? Then Lucci kind of loses a little bit of his value. So in other words, they have to have the key combos to actually get rid of these. Be it generally, it'll be Greater Eruption and then a Houndblaze to get rid of this. Okay. He can attack you for 5. Or sorry, he can put a Dawn on his Sakazuki, attack you for 6, your Whitebeard. And then -1 on this, so now this becomes a 4. And then he can drop a Greater Eruption, becomes a 2. Houndblaze this, and then boost up something else on his field to attack you again for 6. If that's like a brand new or something, some sort of a scenario, right? But that's another way that he can do it. The other option would be for him to just Ice Age Marco and or Luffy as soon as they hit the board, and then remove them with an Houndblaze. But I feel like that's doing too much, because spending an Ice Age in the early game could really hurt him in the late stages when you drop the Newgates. Because most Sakazuki lists, they run 1 to 2 Ice Ages. I prefer 4 because I think the card is really good. That's just how I feel about it. I think it's a really good card. But in this format, they generally run 1 to 2. I'm not sure why. Most lists do. But this is the way it's been working for me right now, and I think it's pretty good. Hopefully you guys give it a shot and let me know what you think about it. There is a lot of different ways to build Edward Newgate, of course. I mean, Whitebeard has been around since OP02. He's still strong. He's one of the best decks in the format. We can always come up with different ways to play him versus other leaders. This right now, I think, is just doing really, really good, especially into the format that we have. And on top of that, we get back our Radical Beams, 4 of these guys, all Marcos, our Nami. It's pretty solid. But overall, let's dive into some games. See you guys in a split second. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Diving into another game. Coming back at you guys again with Edward Newgate. Brand new updated deck list here on the channel. Considering OP5 has dropped, of course, you got to update the list with the brand new Marcos, or not brand new, but you know what I mean. The Marcos and the Radical Beams, and a little bit of changes here and there. See how strong Newgate can be. You guys got to keep in mind that Newgate is still relevant in OP05 and JP, and in OP06 and JP. He's still very, very strong. Of course, he's not Sakazuki, but you can still dominate the meta being Newgate. With any other matchup, you do just fine. You just got to play a little bit conservative and play a little bit better versus Sakazuki with this leader. But other than that, I still think he's super strong. He's very viable. And he's definitely up there in tier 1 right now when it comes to the format. Be it Purple Luffy, Sakazuki, and Whitebeard. But either way, let's go ahead and dive into these games. In any case, when it comes to Whitebeard, I love to guard early, no matter what deck I'm playing against. I don't like to sit here and hold counters or hold events in my hand until late game. I like to make sure I can protect myself in the early game as much as I possibly can, especially when it comes to Zoro. Because we all know, Zoro loves just throwing bodies on board, going wide, and getting damage in. And at the end of the day, I don't want to attack into the leader until I'm ready to attack into the leader. I'd rather clear his board first. That way I always have momentum, and I'm able to guard against his little small attacks. They add up quickly, but you should have the hand size to do it, considering, you know, you draw from your life and your deck every turn, so it shouldn't be that bad. Alright, cool. He's done. What do I want to do here? I think we'll just play the Nami down. I'll grab the guard point here. I mean, it was really just guard point or Jinbei at the end of the day. I feel like the guard point is going to be a little bit more valuable here. I'll go 7 in hopes that he'll give me like a 2k and a 1k. Alright, so he decides to take the damage. That's fine. We'll go ahead and throw down a chopper and we'll pass turn here. We get another guard point off that, which is really good. Keep in mind, though, he does know we have 1 guard point, so we will have to use it for it. It doesn't really matter. We just have to get rid of it at some point. Buggy goes up to 7k. Toss a 2k here. Toss another 2k. I guess we'll save the guard point for the buggy. I want to save Marco. Marco would be the smart choice in this situation. But considering that Marco is my curve, I kind of need him. You know what I mean? This is, no, this is 7k. So I was not really worried about this one either. We're going to save Chopper here as well. Rid of that guard point here, and he should be able to pass the turn. Another Nami, that's good. Let's get rid of the Makino first. And then I want to attack into the Zoro with Whitebeard at 7k. I think that's probably going to be the play here. I would think he would try to guard it. That is his only damage on the side of the field. We will be popping the buggy at some point. You're gonna let it go, though. Okay, fair. We'll have to rethink this. Alright, so that's gone. Get a Marco off the top here from the life. Got 4 cards in hand here. We're looking pretty good right now. Although we don't have any Dawn right now, so we will have to actually get rid of these cards, unfortunately. But still, I'm going to keep Chopper up for one more turn. If he survives this one, we'll use him to actually get rid of the Makino. Okay. We'll go 2K here. That can go. And I'll have to take this hit. As much as I don't want to, I'd rather take this hit. That way Chopper can kill the Makino here. And or he pitches a 2K from his hand or a 1K to protect it. I'll take the 9. And we get another Marco. We're looking pretty good for the following turns. Once we clear his board, that is. We'll do Chopper first, and then we'll deal with the Brook and the Buggy afterwards. I'll play down 2 Marcos, and then we'll have Dawn up for 2 guard points. Let's get rid of this guy. Let's say, bro, you're not saving it. Do 1 Dawn here, see if we can get rid of the Brook. No, actually, hold on. We'll do 2 Dawn. Because it's only a 1K counter. I'd rather him just drop a 2 if he really wants to save it. Wow, he actually decided to drop a 2K for that. That's a little wild. Now, in hindsight, we can drop the 5-drop here. Might as well get rid of the Dedan, and we'll keep up the guard point, just in case. Considering he didn't let Brook go, I think that was probably our best option. And he only has 2 cards in hand, so I'm not really worried about too much. Starter deck Zoro. A little weird, but okay. I have seen some lists run this card, actually. I guess it's not too much of a surprise, but it's not a typical one. Double Jambe. Fire Fist. Okay. He's going in. I'm gonna take this hit. I mean, for obvious reasons, right? At the end of the day. I think this is game here. I think we can probably kill him in 2 turns. But for now, let's get the free attack in with Marco here. Opponent stalling. Alright, so there we go. No trigger, which is really good. 2 hits. Now we wall up. A double guard point here. In the following turn, we have Luffy for finisher. Unless he top deck some really, really good cards there. Well, that's kind of surprising. There goes a Luffy. But I think we're still good here, though. I think we're still fine. Unblockable. 7K. Both of those hit me for what? 8, I think. Oh, never mind. He didn't put 2 Dawn on Luffy. I think we might be fine. Revive that. We don't need Ace at all. If I have to revive the other Marco with Ace, I'll do that as well. Guard point this. I guess we'll just guard point the other one. I don't really see why we wouldn't do it, right? Maybe we could block a Marco here and save the guard point. It's probably the better play. Just get rid of the Ace. We don't need Ace here. Win the game. Alright, he's got 1 card in hand. Let's go 7-7-7. And then we'll drop the Luffy for the finisher, I think, if we need to. If it gets to that point. Because the possibility he gets a jet pistol off the stack here. There we go. Alright. Looks like this will be game number 1. Okay. Never mind. Hold on. Ari Doll. We still got enough, though. Probably do one more match and see if we can find a Sakazuki player. See how it goes. Alright, see you guys in a split second. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Diving into another game. Come back at you guys again with Edward Newgate, playing against Sakazuki here. I guess we'll go ahead and grab the ace. I think this will probably be the best play considering we went first, so having this on curve might be nice. But it all depends on, I guess, what we draw from life and everything else too, but, you know, just in case. We can always pitch it for a Marco if need be. In any case, with Sakazuki, I've realized how to beat this leader, and it's not always a foolproof shot, but at the end of the day, I understand on how to play around his cards with Whitebeard and do fine. And I feel like a lot of skilled Whitebeard players still play this leader because they still think this leader is one of the best in the format, which he is, and you can still win this match. It's very winnable. Sakazuki is very difficult to deal with for every other deck in the format, sure, but with Whitebeard, you got to keep in mind, boys and girls, we use Marcos. Marcos are a nuisance to this leader. We're going to take the Luffy. On behalf of the only way for him to get rid of Marcos is to bottom deck them. He has to 3000 Worlds, he has to Red Rock, he has to Houndblaze. He has to do one of those things to remove our Marcos, otherwise they just keep coming back. So Rob Lucci, it's not going to cut it. It's just not going to cut it. And at the end of the day, if he Houndblazes any of these, which he should be able to with Great Eruption, Houndblaze the 4-drop, be fine. Great Eruption, attack, and then Houndblaze the 5-drop Marco, he'll be fine. But that's a lot of resources he has to expend on the Marcos just to get rid of those. And we run 8. See what I'm saying? So with that said, between the Marcos and the 5-drop Luffy, I think those are key to beating this leader. Your 9-drop Newgate also helps you quite a bit. It really does. Being 8k is so strong. But I think the key pieces are the Marcos and the Luffys here. Let's see what we got going on here. Following turn, I guess we can do... We can get in 7k, right? We can do 7k here. Or we can drop Luffy. No, let's get in 6 damage. And then we'll drop Luffy afterwards. She might just be able to bring it back with Moncherry, you know, using her effect to bring back Hina to -3 on the Luffy, and then Houndblaze that. I'm cool with it. It's a lot of resources he's got to expend in the early game. Let's see what he does on how he handles this here. We got rid of a 2k, and we should get 1 damage in here. Nice. Pass it up. We get Newgate. Awesome. We'll take it. Looking good. I do think Luffy is not going to live, and which he shouldn't. He should remove this instantly. Like I said, the ways that he could do it is spend 1 Dawn to get the Hina back. Luffy drops down to 2, then he Houndblazes it, and then he hits me again for 8k. That could be a way to do it. Or he Greater Eruptions the Luffy, and then he drops a Rob Lucci down to remove both. Okay, Ice Ages here. I feel like that might be a waste unless that's all he has. Okay, so there's a Lucci. So Ice Age does a lot of work for this leader, especially when it comes to my 9-drop or my ace. It allows him to remove them a lot easier. In most Sakazuki lists that I've seen, they generally run 1 to 2 Ice Ages. I like to run 4, but each their own. Drops out a Kuzan. Interesting. 7 Dawn here. I think playing Ace would be the bad option, because it would leave me open for some attacks, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So let's go 8 to make sure I can guarantee a damage here. Unless you wanted to pitch 3k, you know what I mean? Or 4k, sorry. Math's hard sometimes. I'm debating on the chopper. It's probably better to not run it, just in case he, you know, like I said, Greater Eruptions this, and then plays another Rob Lucci to kill both. Obviously, you can bring back the Marco but he can just attack into it with Rob Lucci or his leader here. So maybe Chopper will come in handy a little bit later. Do away Borsellino, which is fine. You can throw away whatever you want to draw a free card when you have him on Sherry on the field, because you can just get it back for free. Which I would assume that he's going to do that at some point. This trash is actually looking pretty good right now for him. Opponent thinking. Alright, 6k. We'll throw away the Sanji here. I don't think we'll need it this game. He's already at 1 life. We can drop Newgate next turn depending on how he handles my Marco. I'd rather drop Newgate next turn if we're able to, but we'll see. Is he going to bottom deck me? Yeah, he is. Well played. Currently for 8. I don't want to take this hit, so I think we're just going to guard point instead. I think that's probably the better play. What else do you have? Kuzan, maybe? Okay, he's getting Borsellino back. I would assume. Yep. Okay, smart. He's got 5 in hand. Oh, that's nice. Alright, let's go 8k and attack to his face. I don't care so much about the Manchuri right now. Or the Rob Lucci. I'd rather just go straight for damage, because that way we can have Luffy finish the game if need be. Unfortunate. But you know, it's not so bad. He got rid of 3 cards to protect the Borsellino there. I think I'm okay with that. I mean, his board is actually looking pretty good, but I still don't think he can kill me right now. Alright, so it throws away another Borsellino 7-drop. See what I'm saying? That Ice Age that he played earlier might have been good for him to keep. Sorry if you guys can hear the plane outside, my bad. I can't really help that part. But yeah, saving the Ice Age earlier might have been a smarter play. He had to have been able to do that a different way. Because now he doesn't have any easy removal for Whitebeard. Plays the Kuz on the draw free card. Still has 5 Dawn left. Okay, so this is 2 8k attacks. I don't really need to block any of these, right? I think we have the game next turn regardless on what I do. Yeah, he'll go 8k. Sakazuki. That's it. 1 blocker up. No active Dawn. I don't know why I did that. It's my bad. I'm all over the place, man. I apologize. I don't think it matters still. You know what I mean? Now I could attach 2 Dawn here to get rid of that, but he's not going to live for the next turn. I just need to take away 1 life, and that should be it here. So he either blocks the Borsellino here or takes the damage. If he blocks, he still has 6k to deal with, obviously without before Dawn attachment here, which we can go up to 8, right? Yeah, no, we can actually, yeah, we can go up to 8k, yeah. No trigger. Let's go 6. Hopefully get a 2k out of hand. There we go. And this should be game for 11. But he's a little salty after that. Nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this one. This was my brand new updated OP05 Whitebeard list, in which I am having a blast with right now. I'm doing very well with it. I'm having a lot of success, and it's probably all due to the fact that we actually got our Marcos back, our Nami, and our Radical Beams, which this card right now in this format is absolutely incredible. I feel like it's a little bit more go wide on board instead of going tall. So I mean, having a Radical Beam to protect yourself from multiple different attacks from one Dawn is very nice at the end of the day. Being a 6k body, dropping a 2k, it protects against most weenie attackers and all that sort of thing. But either way, if you guys have a different Whitebeard list, or you guys are struggling versing other decks, let me know down there in the comment section. We can talk about it. We can do some little bit of changes and stuff. Let me know what you're running, all that sort of thing. Either way, this has been Pawseplays. Remember, guys, smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe for future content when it comes to One Piece. And I'll catch you guys in the very next video. Stay safe out there. I'll see y'all later.